Join me for another area introduction in Bali. Today I'm in Canggu. Canggu is one of the hip, large beach places. So it's a fairly large area, actually, consisting of multiple villages. It's a long stretch of beach. Let's have a look behind me. It goes all the way to the airport. Next is Seminyak. So basically everything behind Seminyak here is called Canggu. And next behind me would be Zeze, and after that, Hanalot. Now, Canggu itself, when you look at it on a map, goes fairly far land inward, but that's not where tourists like to stay. For tourists, as close to the beach as possible, of course. And the more you're familiar with the area, the more you're comfortable with going a bit further inland. You need a scooter to get around, but that's okay. Nevertheless, the closer to the beach, the better, of course. So that you have to keep in mind when you're investing mostly. And when you come here for vacation, it's really up to you. How important is a beach for you? How comfortable are you to scooter around or to take 10, 15 minutes, maybe walking, maybe on a scooter to get to the beach? Now, Canggu itself is characterized by not having many large hotels. So when you look around, you don't find many high-rise buildings. You don't find the big fancy Marriott or whatever hotels with hundreds of rooms. You find mostly small hotels with maybe 20 rooms, some even larger, but not many. And a lot of townhouses, small villas, medium-sized villas. But accommodation is really more small scale, and with that also spread out. So that makes it interesting in terms of investment. A lot is built, and if you're investing in real estate, you will probably more likely invest in a small villa or a townhouse than build a huge hotel. So in terms of geography, it's a stretch quite long along the beach. And behind the beach, it goes up all the way to the mountains. That means the water from rain is coming from the mountains, and it comes in small rivers that become big rivers in the rainy season when there's a lot of heavy rain. So these rivers are hard to cross. They wash away when they swell up to 5-6 meters high. They wash away everything. So deep valleys for these rivers, and very few roads are there to cross it. That means between these rivers is what the main roads for settlement or for residential areas here are built along. And then land inward is one main road that connects to Sunset Road, that connects all these villages. And these villages have one name, so it's the same as the name for the part of the beach and the main road that goes to the main road. So the big road that leads away from the beach. And there you have a couple of them. The big road that connects them is maybe 5 kilometers away from the beach. So if you have to go from here to a couple hundred meters down the beach by car, you have to go 5 kilometers away from the beach on the main road with lots of traffic, and then come back 5 kilometers to the beach. So that's why one of the big things here is the shortcuts. So you have tiny roads that connect these roads that lead away from the beach. And these, of course, save you a lot of time when you go from one place to another. They're typically mostly not accessible to cars, or if you take it by car, it's gonna be a mess. And they are traffic-wise in the wrong time or during a construction along the way can be a really, really, really bad disaster. So if you see on the internet or on Instagram any of these little videos people take from the back of a scooter about a horrible, horrible traffic situation, that is often the shortcuts here in Canggu. Nevertheless, super important to be able to navigate them. And if you're stressed out by the traffic, you can take a scooter. But I would always prefer a scooter over car, unless I have luggage or something. Because what takes a car 1 hour might be 10 minutes with a scooter. And it's a bit of a skill question. How good can you navigate the different shortcuts? And of course the traffic. So that's Canggu navigation-wise, where we are here now. In terms of what is around here. So there's good accommodation, there's reasonably priced accommodation. There's quite a range, but really more small scale stuff. You have, of course, lots of beaches. You have the famous beach clubs. You have Atlas, you have Finn's Beach Club. You have a couple more smaller ones. And you have bars, restaurants at the beach. And you can, of course, go surfing. Surfing, this is a medium level surfer spot. If you're more experienced, you might also want to go to Ubud for surfing. But it's a nice beach, actually. Clean, nice surfer you can play in, and rent a surfboard, take a surf lesson, all that. Quite nice. And the cafes along the beach and also within Canggu, away from the beach, there are plenty of cafes, nice restaurants. So there's really good food, really good brunch and breakfast options as well. So it's not boring to stay here a couple of days. That's what most people do. And then this is also a hotspot for digital nomads. So a lot of foreigners who choose to stay in Bali for a long time, like a year, half a year, would end up here in Canggu because there are good options to stay. You have a young crowd, you have a lot of digital nomads, you have co-working spaces, you have a community to connect to. So it's a very good place to come as a digital nomad. And that is a slightly different segment. Of course, they don't spend $200 per night on a villa. They would find something slightly further out. And of course, more budget friendly for someone who lives on maybe $2,000 a month. So great options here in terms of food, accommodation, and you have to learn to get your way around here. But interesting crowd, very different people than in Ubud. So not necessarily younger, but more the party people generation. Of course, here you have surfers, while in Ubud you have the yoga crowd. Here you have the surf crowd. But a lot of party people who come here for either just getting a sunburn or get drunk and have a party in the beach clubs. There are famous DJs here sometimes. So quite a lot to see.